Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Master Roots Chronicles. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. Had a lot of things I had to take care of. A lot of things didn't go right, so I had to take time to figure it out. The last time I was on here, I was doing my outdoor growth, which I wasn't satisfied with. For some reason this year, the mold, kind of took over, and a lot of my plants got hit, really, really hard, man. So I was so disappointed that I said, man, I ain't even gonna make no video or nothing, man, because I put in a lot of time trying to, take care of that growth. And being that was my first time outside since '07, I was lacking in, certain areas, and one of them was with that mold. And I should have attacked it as soon as I seen the littlest speck of it. But, I was like, it ain't gonna really do nothing. And then as the weeks went on, it started destroying my plant. I had a bud on there about big as my forearm. In about 2 weeks, the mold had just destroyed it, man. I had to discard it. So that really pissed me off, because that was gonna be like my prized possession, and it just didn't work out that way. And my outdoor shit in the backyard got hit with the mold too, so I was very, very dissatisfied, you know what I mean? So that's the whole reason I really didn't do any videos, man. And I had to get ready for my indoors. As a matter of fact, I'm about 2 weeks away from harvest, and I really haven't been doing nothing with that. It's up on my own Facebook page, because it's easier. With this, if I don't have enough members or subscribers, I can't just pull out my phone and make a video. So I just be like, fuck it, But anyway, before I get into what I'm doing, I want to get into the lunar science a little bit, because I kind of strayed away from it. And it's very important, at least for me, to stay connected with that, because out of all things organic, nature, you know what I mean, is number one, you know what I mean? And then you could get into the chicken shits and all that, you know what I mean? Fish emotions, whatever. But when it comes to organics, you have to have a good grasp on nature, the different aspects of nature, the different dynamics of nature, you know what I mean? And once you understand all that, you're able to apply it to what you're doing with your plants, you know what I mean? I want to do this lunar science right here, because like I said before, you had all this technology in place. Back in the old times, they didn't have the benefit of technology, so they used what you would call the lunar sciences, the heavenly bodies and things, the zodiac, and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? In the form of the almanac. You know what I mean? And the almanac, that was like the Bible as far as planting um, and livestock. You know what I mean? Um, because their crops depended on, um, their understanding of that science. You know what I mean? Because again, you can, because that's what a lot of people is doing now. You know, they just putting seed in soil and getting them some nutrients and shit like that. And watering the plant and shit, you know what I mean? Asking questions on Facebook, shit like that. So, that's basic. That's basic, um, when it comes to gardening, you know what I mean? Seed, water, nutrients. Those are basics, you know what I mean? When you start getting into the advanced levels of growing, you want to understand a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? About nature, what could you benefit from, so, studying nature, you know what I mean? And understanding how to use it when it comes to gardening and applying, those methods to what you do with your plant is a great start, you know what I mean? Because you just benefit from the fertilizers and being watered and the living soils. You want to also benefit from, the energy of nature, you know what I mean? And how, knowing how to harness that nature, you know, um, not nature, but that energy, so that you could use it for your plant. You know what I mean? And like I said, back in the days, when they were farming, before technology, they would use what you would call the almanac. And the almanac is a lunar science that's been used for years and years. You know what I mean? Using the lunar bodies and using the zodiac signs, and most important, using the phases of the moon and using them in different combinations, because there's not no right or wrong way to use them. You just have to understand what they are. And once you do, you'll be able to put together your own combination, because with this lunar science, it all starts with the moon. And the moon, because you're using a lunar calendar, it passes through every last one of the zodiac signs in 30 days, versus the sun, where it takes, 12 months to go through each one of the zodiac signs. So because of that, you're able to benefit more from the moon than you are from the solar, calendar. You benefit more from the lunar calendar than you would from the solar. You know what I mean? So like I said, today is Monday, December 27th, 2021. And this is the last week in this year. You know what I mean? And After this, we'll be celebrating 2022, you know, and whatever it beholds, you know. But anyway, the moon cycle is in its first day of the last quarter. So in the zodiac or the moon sign, you know, there's zodiac sign, but when we're dealing with the lunar sciences, we're going to refer to them as moon signs, you know. And the moon sign is in its first day of Libra. So how do you interpret that? Okay. First, the moon is in the last quarter phase, which means that the energy is decreasing. So the energy is getting weaker and weaker, you know. So when you're dealing with this side of the moon, after the full moon, because after the full moon, the energy starts to get weaker. So you have to understand that. And because the energy is getting weaker, you know, it's not going to have that influence it would at then when, you know, the energy is increasing. So the moon is the most important part of this whole system. You see what I'm saying? And you have to pay attention to the different phases. You know, you have the new moon phase, you have the first quarter, you have the full, and then you have the last quarter. So it's four phases that the moon goes through, and each one of them is important, you know, because we're in the last quarter. That means after we finish with this phase, the moon is going to fall under the new moon phase. You see what I mean? The whole cycle is going to start over again with the new moon, basically. You know what I mean? And because of that, the energy will start increasing, you know what I mean, until it reaches apex, which is the full moon. And after that, the energy will start decreasing, weakening. And it's benefits for both, you know what I mean? But you just have to have that understanding of, you know, what the moon does and the role it plays in this system. And then I mentioned that the moon sign was in its first day of Libra. Like I said, these zodiac signs, the moon is going to pass through each one of those zodiac signs. In its cycle, it usually lasts like 2 to 2.5 days in every sign. So you will have time to work with that energy when it come upon you. You see what I'm saying? So when you understand these energies and what they represent, then you will understand how to use them better. You see what I'm saying? So Libra is, the scales is an air sign that's masculine but semi-fruitful in nature, ruled by the planet Venus. Plus, Libra is the 6th most productive sign in the zodiac. So out of all the fruitful signs, Libra is the last one that falls under that category. So if you need, if it falls under that sign, you're able to use or benefit from the energy of that zodiac sign. And I talked about the moon. Now we're going to talk about the zodiac, because that's the second part to this. You know, most important part is the zodiac, because you have 12 zodiac signs. 6 of them is going to be fruitful, and then 6 of them is going to be barren, meaning that 6 of them is going to be productive and 6 of them is going to be non-productive. So you could use those qualities for whatever purpose that come upon you. You know, like with the fruitful signs, you have Cancer, the crab, which is a water sign that's feminine and fruitful in nature, ruled by the cosmic mother, the moon. Cancer is the most productive sign in the zodiac. So Cancer, out of all the zodiac signs, has the most benefit. You know what I mean? Because of its ruling planet, the moon. The moon, like I said, out of all the lunar bodies, is the most powerful. Not only is the most powerful, it's the man, I forgot. But anyway, the moon is the most powerful lunar body out here. You know what I'm saying? And because of the moon, the characteristics of the moon, you have to understand the attributes and you have to understand the attributes and characteristics of the planet. And when it comes to the moon rules over germination, fruitfulness, and the nurturing or maternal instincts of plant and animals. The moon is considered to be the cosmic mother. So like I said, out of all the lunar bodies, the moon is not only the most powerful, it's the most important. That's what I meant to say. Out of all of them. And because of those attributes and quality characteristic, the zodiac sign is going to reflect those qualities. So that's why Cancer is the most productive sign in the zodiac, you know. And all water signs and earth signs, you know what I mean? The majority of them are going to be fruitful or productive signs. The next one, you have Scorpio, the scorpion, which is a water sign that's feminine and fruitful in nature, ruled by the planet Pluto. Scorpio is the second most productive sign in the zodiac. Why is that? Because of its ruling planet, which is Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of rebirth, similar to the moon. It aids in generation and regeneration. Pluto is the ruler of all things that die in one form and are reborn in another. So Scorpio is going to reflect the qualities of that planet. and that's what give it its energy. You see what I'm saying? Then you have Pisces, the fish, another water sign that's feminine and fruitful in nature, ruled by the planet Neptune. Pisces is the third most productive sign in the zodiac because of its ruling body, Neptune. And Neptune rules over all water-related subjects. It rules over all liquids, and it rules over osmosis, the process where water is taken from the earth and brought to the plant. You see what I mean? So, because that's Pisces ruling body, Pisces gonna reflect, those qualities and shit. And that's where Pisces get its energy from. You see what I'm saying? Next, you got Taurus, the bull, which is a earth sign that's feminine and semi fruitful in nature, ruled by the planet Venus. Taurus is the fourth most productive sign in the zodiac. And again, why is that? It's because of its ruling body, Venus. And when you check the attribute and characteristics of Venus, it rules over procreation, fruitfulness, offsprings, and all aspects of gardening. So because that's the ruling body over Taurus, even though Taurus is a earth sign, it's going to reflect the qualities of Venus, and that's where it gets its energy from. Capricorn, the goat, is an earth sign that's feminine and semi-productive in nature, ruled by the planet Saturn. Capricorn is the fifth most productive sign in the zodiac. Again, because of its ruling body. What do they say about Saturn? Saturn rules over farms and farming, making it perfect for gardening. See? So that's the attribute and quality of Saturn. And because it represents, or the Capricorn is this ruling body, Capricorn is going to reflect those, reflect that energy, making it semi-productive. You know what I mean? And last but not least, you got Libra, the scales. It's an air sign. Air signs ain't usually productive, but again, it's an air sign that's masculine, but semi-fruitful in nature, ruled by the planet Venus. Libra is the sixth most productive sign in the zodiac. Why? Because of its ruling body, Venus. And what they say about Venus, again, it rules over. See, these planets going to represent more than one zodiac sign, so because Venus is over procreation, fruitfulness, and all aspects of gardening, Libra is going to reflect that energy, making it, beneficial for your plant. Beneficial signs, fruitful signs, productive signs. What is they good for? Doing what I'm about to do now, which is get my soils ready, for my next run. What I'm doing is I'm building my soils up with the fungi and the enzymes, probiotics, all the things that support good plant health. You see, because in the seedling stage, you can't go hard with the nutrients. So I don't use nutrients in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because if you have a healthy soil, everything that your plant needs should be in that soil. So what I do is I try to put stuff in my soil that's going to break down whatever is in there and make it, you know, available to the plant. You know what I mean? And right now, establishing the root is the most important part. So what I do is I put all these supplements that I just mentioned, ingredients in my pot, and that's what I'm gonna do once I finish doing the zodiac thing. Now I just went through the 6 beneficial fruitful zodiac signs, and being that we have 12 zodiac signs, 6 of them is gonna be non-productive, barren in nature. You know what I mean? And those signs is gonna be Leo, the lion, which is a fire sign that's masculine and barren in nature, ruled by the sun. Leo is the most destructive sign in the zodiac. Why? Because of its ruling body. What do they say about the sun? Rules over heat, desert, exhaustion, fever. The sun has no water in it, and without water, all things die. You see, so the sun is deadly, man. You know, when it's too much sun, man, you have to like tap out. You know what I mean? You have to go find shade, man, and recuperate and shit. Because if you stay out in it, it'll fuck you up. You know what I mean? Some people catch cancer from the sun. You know, some people have strokes from, you know, too much fucking heat. You know, so being that that's the ruling body over Leo, that makes Leo the most destructive sign in the zodiac. Next, you have Gemini, the twins, an air sign that's barren, that's masculine and barren in nature, ruled by the planet Mercury. Gemini is the second most destructive sign in the zodiac. Why? Because of its ruling body. Mercury. And what they say about Mercury is a mutable, changeable planet. When in Virgo, it has virgin qualities, and a virgin don't produce kids. A virgin is non-productive when it comes to having kids. When in Gemini, an air sign, it mutes all air, making it impossible to produce. So because of the attributes and characteristics of Mercury, Gemini is going to reflect that quality. You see what I mean? And that's where Gemini get its energy from. The next one is Virgo. The Virgin is an earth sign that's feminine and barren in nature, ruled by the planet Mercury again. Virgo is the third most destructive sign in the zodiac. Not only because it's a virgin, because of its ruling body also, Mercury, so it's going to reflect that energy, you know, making it destructive. The next one is Aquarius. The water bearer is an air sign that's masculine and barren in nature, ruled by the planet Neptune. Aquarius is the fourth most destructive sign in the zodiac. again, because of its ruling body, Uranus. And when we look up Uranus, rules over abnormalities, alienation, bachelor. A bachelor is single. Again, debacles, detours, miscarriage. See, you're losing a baby. You're not producing a baby. You're losing it in the miscarriage. Radiation, rejection, and separation. With these examples, you can see why Uranus is a non-producer, and because it represents, or Aquarius is represented by this planet, it's going to reflect those same qualities, and that's where Aquarius gets its energy from, you see. The next one is Sagittarius, the archer. Is a fire sign that's masculine and bearing in nature, ruled by the planet Jupiter. Sagittarius is the fifth most destructive sign in the zodiac. Why? Again, because of its ruling body. What do they say about Jupiter? Rules over abscesses, abundance, celibacy, corpulence, flabbiness, gluttony, opulence, tumors, warts. You can see with these examples that Jupiter is a non-producer. Yeah, especially with that celibacy thing, you see. So yeah, man, that's where Sagittarius get his energy from, because that's his ruling body, Jupiter. And Jupiter is a non-producer, you see. Making Sagittarius the fifth most destructive sign. And last but not least is Aries, a fire sign that's masculine and bearing in nature, ruled by the planet Mars. Aries is the sixth most destructive sign in the zodiac. Why? Because of its ruling body. What do they say about Mars? Where is Mars? Rules over accidents, arguments, blazes, brimstone, carnage, cremation, fever, fire, furnace, heat, lust, males, non-producers of offspring, opposition, and raw. With these examples tend to amplify the destructive quality of Mars. So because of all these attributes, which ain't good ones, brimstone, carnage, cremation, accident, fever, opposition, those is not good qualities. You see what I mean? So because that's the planet that represent Aries. Aries is gonna reflect those same characteristics. So let me see. But it's gonna, because of that, that's where Aries get its energy from. Now, how do you use these? The way you use them is according to what you're doing in your garden. Now, if dealing with elimination, you want to use one of these bearing signs to benefit from. You know what I mean? For instance, a lot of people like the lollipop. You know, that's dealing with elimination and waste. You know what I mean? So, how you benefit from the lollipopping is you do it under one of these bearing signs. You know what I mean? And because of that, it's a like 99.9% chance that none of those leaves or whatever grow back, you know, throughout your growth. You know, if you're in your garden and you're want to get rid of your weeds and shit, you want to do it under one of these bearing signs. For example, if you did it under Leo, because Leo is a fire sign in the sun, and if you do it when the energy of the moon is increasing, when you cut that vine, it's going to cause that plant to bleed out. You see, and that plant is going to die from the inside out. You know, and that's how you use these bearing non-productive destructive signs. You know, if you're doing stuff dealing with elimination, waste, getting rid of stuff, do it under one of these signs and your plan to benefit from it. With the fruitful signs, the productive signs, you do just the opposite. When it comes time for germination, you want to use one of these fruitful signs because of the energy that they possess. When it comes to feeding your plant, watering your plant, you want to look for one of these fruitful signs, see if they coming up in the calendar. And if it's fall under the day that you need the water, your plant is going to benefit from that influence. You see what I mean? It's going to benefit from that energy, you know what I mean, of that planet, you know? It's going to benefit from the energy of that zodiac sign, you know what I mean? So water it, feed it, all of those signs dealing with, you know, production, you want to try to do that under one of these zodiac signs, you know, and that's how you use the almanac, you know. You use the moon, the phases of the moon, and you use the zodiac signs. You understand what planet represents that sign, making it either beneficial or not beneficial, making it fruitful or barren, making it productive or destructive. You know, it's all in that zodiac sign, and it's all in what you need to do. So you could use different combination. If Cancer ain't there, you could always use Libra, you know, Capricorn, because you got 6 of them, and the moon gonna pass through every last one of them. Excuse me. Back. I hope I don't get a strike for the music, because it seems like you're not talking over the music, they are striking and shit, you know. I guess the algorithm can't tell the difference between my voice and I guess the voice on the music. So it can't really pick it up unless it's like silence. You know what I mean? But anyway, like I was saying, that's how you use them, you know. And let's not forget about the overlay, because the moon go through each one of those zodiac signs and go through its phases. Every 28 days, the moon is going to start a new cycle. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between lunar and solar. The moon, you know, it passes through the zodiac signs, all of them in 28 days, versus the sun, where it takes 12 months to go through all of those zodiac signs. You know what I mean? So I keep losing my chain of thought. But anyway, the zodiac sign is going to go through each one of those. So you just get you a lunar calendar, a moon calendar, and they have all the zodiac signs already mapped out for you. You know what I mean? Not only the zodiac sign, but it'll have the moon phases mapped out too. You know, so all you do, if one of those days is coming soon, or if you need the water and it's on one of those days, then your plant could actually benefit from the energy of nature. You know what I mean? The energy of the moon. You know what I mean? Because the moon, like I said, out of all the lunar bodies, is the most important and it's the most powerful out of all of the lunar bodies, based on this gravitational pull. And you see how it affects the water. Every night when the moon come up, it pulls the water. So I think we have, I think we go into low tide. I'm not sure. The moon will pull the water back, you know, so far that you could kind of walk, you know, out, you know, into, you know, the ocean or sea or whatever, you know, and then when the moon come back out, it caused the water to come back in. I'm not for sure if I got that right, but it causes the high tide. It caused the water to come up higher than what it normally is. You know what I mean? So that's the effect of the energy of the moon on our planet. So imagine the effect it have on our plants. You know what I mean? Because, you know, the moon also deals with moisture. When the energy of the moon is increasing, it affects the moisture in the soil, and that's how you seeds break down, because the moisture starts to increase and then it'll break down the seed and cause it to break soil. You know, to break down that shell. You know, the moisture and I guess all the other enzymes and microbes and whatever activity going on to help it in that process. With the energy of the moon increasing, it has a stronger effect on that process, accelerating it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, right now I'm trying to prepare for my next run, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. So I got to get my starter pots ready for my seeds, and usually I use half-gallon pots right here. My mix is 2 parts soil, 1 part cocoa. So if I use 4 gallons of soil. I'm gonna use 2 gallons of cocoa, 2-to-1. And then I add in my perlite. I like grade 4, the chunky perlite, because it creates bigger air pockets in your medium. I use rice hull as an amendment. That's also create, aerates your medium. And plus with rice hull, when it starts to break down, it produces silica. So that's good because your plant could benefit from that. And then I use like biochar, you know what I mean? So I got all of that in there. I try to make my pots as clean as possible. I don't run them hot. I learned my lesson a long time ago, trying to stack my pots with all kind of nutrients and amendments, you know what I mean? And it would like get out of hand, you know what I mean? And that's a whole different story. I'll be here all day explaining it. So now I just use those ingredients that I had mentioned, and I try to keep it as simple as possible. So my soil is actually clean. It's clean enough for, my seeds to thrive in, especially after I build it up. So usually what I do to build them up, I add in my fungi. I add in my my enzymes, and I add in my probiotics, and I use some yucca extract, and that's it. Why do I use those specific things? Because each one of those is used to build up a healthy root system. So my roots are actually benefit from everything that I'm putting inside of this, apart from nutrients, So once I get all that in there, mix it up, and then I activate it with some water. When it's time to put my seeds in there, it'll have a support system in there with all the ingredients I put in there, the fungi, enzymes, and the plant should thrive. You know what I mean? So yeah, but anyway, with that lunar science thing, I've been studying that for like 15 years, man. I bought a book called Gardening with the Moon, man. And man, that book, it taught me so much about the zodiac signs and the moon phases that I was able to put together my own little pamphlet, that I use, for, my personal use, you know what I mean? Because that particular book, they talk about every plant on the, that you could think of as cannabis, you know what I mean? So being that I'm an organic grower, and this is a natural science, the lunar science in the form of the almanac is a natural science, that our people used to use back in, colonial times, you know what I'm saying? When, they were, manual with everything, from tilling the soil to taking care of the animals. Everything was manual, So they used the almanac, because the almanac told them the best times, showed them the moon phases, showed them the zodiac, what days the zodiac signs fell under. So the zodiac was like a system that they used to help them, with their agriculture. Not only the agriculture, but with the livestock also. You know what I mean? Because those same signs, like when you're doing castration and stuff, you could use those same signs for the animals, so they don't bleed out and stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want to do it under one of those destructive signs, because you would kill the animal. You see what I mean? So the almanac was already mapped out, with the moon phases and the zodiac sign when they were coming up and stuff. So the farmer was able to pick and choose the best days possible to sow his seeds, so it'll guarantee him a harvest. You know what I mean? And we're here, so it must have worked. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing fishy about this. There's nothing funny about this. It's a natural fact, you know what I mean, that your plant could benefit from if you take the time to understand it. So that's what I have to say about the lunar sciences. I got away from it. Usually every time I come on, I give you the lunar science for the day, like a forecast. You know what I mean? Now with this particular song, they probably strike me, especially if I'm not talking and shit. You know what I mean? Just catch a couple of draws, man, and we'll get back to this. And what I love about the lunar science is organic. And I consider myself to be an organic grower. And personally, I don't see how you could call yourself an organic grower if you don't understand, this system right here. You know what I mean? Because it was proven and approved. You know what I mean? For the simple fact that we're here. You know what I mean? So if you need to know or want to know more about it, just inbox me through Messenger. You know what I mean? You could join my page on Facebook, Master Rules Chronicles, hosted by the Urban OG, which is me. It's a private group. I just don't want everybody in, my business. You know what I mean? So it's like a select few that I share this information with. So if you could go on there and join, or you could just wait for me to do something on YouTube. You know what I mean? It don't really matter. But one of the first things I use is this stuff here. It's called Root Shield Plus by BioWorks. It's a fungi. It have the two powerhouse fungi, the G41 trichoderma fungi strain, and it has the T22 fungi strains. These are laboratory strains. That's very powerful. You know what I mean? Because of what they do for the plant. A matter of fact, this 1 pound bag cost me $200, but I got it anyway because I understand what it do and I know how to use it. So it's not really going to waste. Be careful when you use it. Don't breathe it in. Don't try to smell it. Don't let it really get on your hands. Use your gloves, because they said there's some carcinogens in this shit. And I really didn't know until I read that hazard paper that they have on here, this safety paper. And it tells you, yo, wear gloves, don't sniff it, wash your hands and all that shit. So be real careful when you using fungicides and shit, man. You know what I mean? Because I got another one in there for root rot and mold. You know what I mean? And even that one, they said, man, use gloves, this, that, and the other. But, you know, it's a fungicide that establishes itself in your the plant root system, you know, and it'll fight the pathogens right, you know, at the root level, you know what I mean, and won't allow them to come up through your plant. And of course, I got my Corze inoculant. This is another important fungi. It's different from the trichoderma. It establishes itself around the root ball, you know what I mean, and help the plant extract, you know, what it needs to survive, you know. So my Corze is real important. And all I use is a teaspoon, because this mix is for my seedlings, the babies. So you don't want to overwhelm them, you know, but you want to create a medium where it's going to thrive, you know, and it starts with the roots. And if you could get a nice, healthy root system developed, then you fought half the battle, man. You know what I mean? Well, half the battle is fought, you know what I'm saying? And the other half is to keep it healthy, you know what I mean? The next thing I use is my enzymes, you know, and this one is amylase enzyme. And I got this from the Hydro store in their brewing section, because they sell a lot of things that, for home brewing, wines and stuff. And enzymes is very important because they help break up what's in the soil, like non-organic shit. You know what I mean? That's in the soil. The enzymes will break that down and make it available for the plant. So this is very important. And again, I just do 1 teaspoon. The next thing I use is these probiotics. And believe it or not, I got this from the feed store, you know, the place that sells, you know, feed for animals. This particular place was called Country Max. They sell a lot of the Fox Farm soils and shit, earthworm castings, all the top grade soils and shit. So I always go there and check. You know, right now I'm working with that Coastal Maine lobster compost. It's an excellent soil. But anyway, when I was walking through the aisle, I seen this sitting on the shelf, and it was like probiotics. And you can see right there the CFUs in it, you know, which is I don't got my glasses, but it's a lot. At that focus, you can see the colony formulating units. And then if you look real close, I think you can see lactate acid in there. There's lactate acid in here, man. And believe it or not, lactate acid is real important for the plants. You know what I mean? I read up about the lactate, you know, and they was like, yeah, the lactate acid, you know, works well, you know, when it comes to growing, you know, plus the probiotics, again, gonna do the same thing. Is the enzymes is gonna help break down the inorganic things that's in your medium and make it available for the plant. And that's important in the seedling stage because you can't really give the plant any nutrients for like the first couple of weeks, you know, until the true leaves appear, you know what I mean? And once the leaves appear, then now you can start giving them, you know, nutrients at like a quarter strength. You can't even go full strength. You have to build it, even that up, you know what I mean? But the most important part is the roots. And you want to create an environment where those roots is going to thrive. So all the things that I just used is going to help those roots thrive and become healthy, you know. And last but not least is the yuck up abstract. Now this ain't a nutrient. It has a ingredient in it called sepion, something like that. It starts with an S, but it's real beneficial for the plant. You know what I mean? So I just use 1 teaspoon of this, you know. So I got all of those things in the soil. And the next thing is just mix it in. There you have it. My pot is ready to go. Now, when I water these, it's going to activate all of those ingredients in here, and you know it's going to be available to the plant. But like I said, they're not nutrients. All of those is like more like supplements, you know what I mean? Fungi's and shit, you know. And right now, that's the most important thing, the fungi. You want to establish, you know, those fungi in your medium so that your roots could come in strong and healthy. So, you know, so I just wanted to share that with you. I got 10 more to do. So I'm going to get to that, because if I don't, I'll be down here all day fucking with this shit. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is the last week of the year. And next week, we'll be into 2022, a whole new year, you know. And because of that, you know, I have to get ready for my second run, which I hope is going to be more successful than my first run, which is going pretty well, you know. But when I was doing my pots, I put my compost in there, and I don't like it, you know, because it's too concentrated. So with my next run, I'm not going to put the compost in there, you know, and my plants should react a little bit better than, you know, what they were acting like. Right now, they're doing really good, you know what I mean? But like I said, in a couple of weeks, that grow will be over with, and it'll be time for my next grow. I like to do 2 grows a year. After that, I like to go outdoors and fuck around out there, give myself a break, especially on the electric bill and shit, you know what I mean? And about time the outdoor finish, it'll be time to come back indoors again, you know? So I need to finish up the rest of these pots. So I'm gonna end this video. Thanks again for watching another episode of Master Roots Chronicles with your host, the Urban OG, which stands for Organic Growing. No gangster business, family, and I'm out.